We have the NFL free agency, and it's here.
Hey-o.
It's upon us. Everything is happening. So many rumors. So many, hey, I want to go here. And today we have Allen Robinson, a guy that didn't do too well this past season. He did miss 5 games.
For sure.
Finished wide receiver 81. You know, he was in this transition weird phase with the Chicago Bears, but he's a free agent now, and now there are multiple landing spots that he can go to and show that he is the best, hopefully, wide receiver out there. Zach, where do you have Allen Robinson going?
Yeah, look, so when I looked at the landscape of the NFL right now, I think a lot of people are going to be expecting him to land in a contender, right?
Yeah, okay.
But I remember, when there's this app called Clubhouse. Badake, you did have a conversation with Allen Robinson.
I did.
You stuttered all over the place.
I was nervous. I was shaking in my boots. I was like a deer in headlights. Hey, Mr. Robinson.
You were like, do you think about the weather in free agency, where you're going to go? Anyway, one thing that I thought was super important to him was getting his money. Legit. Like, because of his injury, he wasn't able to sign a big time contract in Chicago. Like, it was a good deal for Chicago at that time. And now he was only franchise tagged. He would have made a ton of money if he was a free agent last year. Like, a ton of money. Think about how people view him last year compared to this year. I think he wants his money. So
no doubt.
I can see a lot of people saying he will go to a contender. If he does that, he's going to have to take, a team-friendly deal, I think, unless a contender has a lot of money. So how about this? Come back home. Let's start. Let's go back to where it all began. You are coming back to Jacksonville with the Jaguars. How many people say that, they leave Jacksonville and they come back? But why not you, Allen Robinson? Don't you remember what you had in Jacksonville? And by the way, Jacksonville has a lot of free cap space, okay? They are currently $63 million over the cap. So what does Jacksonville need to really do this offseason? They need to solidify their offensive line. You do that in the draft. You grab Evan Neal with the first overall pick, or Ike Ekwonu, or whoever, whatever your flavor is, okay?
Right.
And then in free agency, you go ahead and snag up Allen Robinson, because no one could catch consistently for Trevor Lawrence last year. I mean, Laviska Shenault literally buttered his gloves up with butter before each game. Like, he could not catch anything consistently.
This guy.
And here's the thing, because they have that cap space, you can sign a good deal. You could get 2 years, $40 million, right? I mean, he signed the franchise tag last year, $17 million. Okay. Now you go to $20 million per year. Jacksonville has the money, and they would have to overpay him, right, for him to come back to Jacksonville. But I think this is a mutually beneficial relationship. Okay. What does Trevor Lawrence need? He needs a reliable wide receiver, someone that he can play with, and on any given play, know that he can rely on that guy.
Right.
This is mutually beneficial, okay? Trevor needs Allen Robinson, and then Allen Robinson needs to prove that he is still that wide receiver 1 target hog. Is he going to be able to prove that on one of these competitors? Probably not, to be honest with you, right? He's probably not going to be able to get the amount of targets that he's used to seeing in the totality of his career. But you go to Jacksonville, this is for pride, right? These next 2 years, you're going to show everyone that you are still that dude. If he goes to a contender, you're going to maybe have a better chance to win a Super Bowl, right? Okay. So it's like, what matters to you more? Is it the money and proving who you are as a wide receiver, or is it winning a Super Bowl? And I think, to me, based off of what I've heard from him, he wants his bag, and he deserves it. Like, he's been underpaid throughout his entire career. So for me, I think Jacksonville makes a lot of sense. A lot of people won't say Jacksonville, but I think this makes sense for both sides. It really, really does. I have other destinations, but before I talk about that, I'm curious where your ideal landing spot for him is.
Yeah, why not stay in Florida, go a little bit further down south, and go to the Miami Dolphins?
Okay.
This feels a lot more better for me. And you're right. He when we spoke to him, he said, money was very important. So I think he gets a longer contract with a little bit less money, a 3-year, 35 to $38 million, whatever the case may be. But why does this make sense? This is a team that was just out of the playoff breach. Okay. They were a wild card contender for a long time. A team that, quote unquote, shouldn't have been winning games, for the past 2 years, Brian Flores came in, changed that. Now they have a new head coach and Mike McDaniels. So that's going to be interesting to see what that's going to look like. But they needed weapons. Who was there? Who was
By
there?
the way, I'm so sorry. Just quickly, like Mike McDaniels, how is he going to hype up a locker room based off of the interviews?
I actually have no idea.
I wanted to succeed, but it is hard to watch those interviews.
It is. I'm
just trying to picture how is the locker room going to respond.
He's an awkward person. Yeah. Like he comes in, let's go guys, let's get hyped up. No, it's not happening. Anyways, let's look at this wide receiver room and who was there to contribute and help. Tua Tagovailoa and the supporting cast. Obviously, Jalen Waddle, the star rookie, now second year, and then Devonta Parker, who was always injured. Okay, continuing the list: Isaiah Ford, Alberto Wilson, and Preston Williams. These guys haven't been on the field as much, haven't really been contributing for the Miami Dolphins. So you need an X wide receiver. That's what Devontae Parker was. Why not keep Parker, put him on the other side, make him the Y.
Make him a Y. Yeah.
Allen Robinson the X, Jalen Waddle in the slot. Parker's good. If he can stay healthy, he could be good. But let's let that linger a little bit, see how he can handle those injuries. The Miami Dolphins are great in salary cap, over $63 million, kind of like the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're up there. They have plenty of time, plenty of money. And let's not remember, Allen Robinson was and is a workhorse. Okay, 2020, he was a top 3 in targets. He finished wide receiver 9. 2019, top 3 in targets again, finished wide receiver 8. He's been there. He knows how to handle the workload. He may not have to handle the whole workload because Waddle is there. Tua is a little bit more mobile quarterback than all these past quarterbacks he was with. But, we were just saying this in our other video. Imagine they get a Breece Hall in the draft or a Kenneth Walker in the draft. This team is going to look good. You're going to have a good running game. Miles Gaskin is not the guy. You have a great supporting cast, once again, just outside the playoff reach. Yes, maybe he can't go to a massive contender, but maybe what he can do is go to one of these underdogs like the Miami Dolphins that have been just outside. Well, they went to the playoffs the year before. They missed the playoffs this year. Maybe go to, be that underdog team. Stay in Miami, go back to Florida and get your money.
Yeah, I actually don't dislike that landing spot. I think a lot of people would be watching and saying, "What? They already have Parker. They already have well, it doesn't matter. You add to your strengths. Add to your strengths. Like it is always better to have a better positional group." My only thing is if they don't spend this money improving the offensive line, then they've lost the entire plot.
They have plenty of money, though.
They are the worst offensive line in the NFL. Like, please do something about it.
Yeah.
Other teams that make sense, one in particular for me, I actually had 2. I don't know where you sit on this, but for me, the Colts made a lot of sense, okay? Because really, it's just Michael Pittman. I mean, there isn't another weapon there that is a reliable target, and whoever's a quarterback there, that's going to help make their offense less one-dimensional. And then I think the Chargers, again, adding to your strengths. Maybe Mike Williams leaves, and then you have Keenan Allen and Allen Robinson, the 2 Allen guys, on either side. You add more weapons. You add to your strengths, especially in that AFC West. You have to be able to compete. Is there another team that makes sense to you?
Yeah, I had a couple teams. First team I thought of was your Kansas City Chiefs. Why not? Yep. I know that's been a very popular one. I actually don't mind him going there. It's just going to be very interesting with Tyreek, Kelsey. I don't think he'll get a lot of work in a fantasy perspective.
Totally.
But maybe he can go in and contribute and be on a contending team. Another team that's not a contender is the Detroit Lions. It's not exciting to go there. They don't have the quarterback. It's a young team. But
that would be money.
Yeah, it would just be money. Exactly. It would be a money move.
Who can give me the most money?
Yeah, and that's probably the Lions. But the Lions, what their cap like? The Lions are in the middle of the pack. They got some money. Yeah. So yeah, why not the Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs?
All right. Look, we did not want to make a video telling you why we think Allen Robinson is still a very talented wide receiver. Hopefully you can see that from the totality of his career. But this was fun looking at potential landing spots. So comment down below, where do you think he's headed? And please, God, not back to Chicago for his sake. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to live in the city. Okay, let us know down below.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.